Hello, this is Don Shum, Vice President of Audiology at Oticon, Inc., and I want to welcome you to the Oticon podcast program. In this edition, I want to talk about OpenSound Navigator. OpenSound Navigator is clearly the most advanced and most important hearing aid technology that we've ever created. And in this presentation, what I want to do is walk you through a little bit of the background of why we created this signal processing solution for your patients. There's no doubt that despite advances in hearing aid signal processing over the years, patients continue to struggle in complex listening environments. The technologies that have been used in the most recent years to try to deal with these situations, directionality and noise reduction, we feel had reached a point of plateauing maybe about 10 years ago or so. The core concepts that are forming the base of those technologies are well known and have been providing probably diminishing returns for a number of years. We were not the only company, of course, to notice that situation, been identified industry-wide as knowing that we had to push to the next level. Several companies decided to solve the problem by going in the direction of beamforming. It's important to recognize what the basis of beamforming is, and that is to close off the listening field for the patient, to give them a very narrow alley to listen in order to try to minimize the amount of competition that they have to deal with. And whereas the idea of minimizing competition, of course, sounds like a good idea, what it ends up leaving the patient with is a very restricted listening field and what we felt was an overly unnatural listening experience for patients with amplification. We didn't believe that going in the direction of beamforming was good enough. It wasn't consistent with the way we think about trying to create solutions for patients. It's not consistent with our brain-hearing approach. We knew we needed two things in order to significantly improve patient performance. First, we needed a significantly more powerful processing engine. And second of all, we needed fresh ideas, fresh approaches to try to solve the problem of speech understanding in complex listening environments. We solved the first problem by introducing the Velox platform back in 2016. By moving onto the Velox platform, we were able to increase our processing capacity by 50 times. And that was the sort of improvement in signal processing engine power we needed to create new solutions for patients. But secondly, and even more important, we needed a new way of approaching the problem. And our signal processing experts went about the task of trying to create a new approach to solving the speech and noise problem. And that's exactly what they were able to do in what has become known as OpenSound Navigator. OpenSound Navigator allows the patient to experience a full listening field but still be able to understand speech significantly better than was allowed by traditional noise reduction and directionality. It wasn't enough just to leave the listening field open. We wanted to be able to leave the listening field open, but we knew that in order to improve patient performance, we had to significantly reduce competition in those environments. OpenSound Navigator solves that problem by introducing a very unique analysis stage in which we use the power of the directional performance in the hearing aid in order to do a complete evaluation of all the sound sources in the environment. Once that information is known by the system, then both directional behavior in the product and noise reduction in the product can be driven to try to eliminate non-speech competition from the environment, but without closing off the listening field into the narrow alley that is typical of beamforming approaches. We have been able to demonstrate that we can significantly outperform both traditional directionality approaches and beamforming approaches in complex listening situations. When the listener of interest is directly in front of the patient, which is the situation that beamforming was designed to solve, OpenSound Navigator meets the performance of beamforming. When the task is to listen to talkers across the front listening plane, which is more typical of social communication situations when we're at parties or at dinner with family or friends or other similar environments, OpenSound Navigator has been shown to be able to outperform both beamforming and traditional directionality. It is the combination of the very powerful signal processing platform called Velox in combination with the revolutionary approach created by our signal processing experts to first analyze the environment before trying to eliminate competition. The processing power, the processing speed, and most importantly, the creative and revolutionary ideas are all what allowed OpenSound Navigator to perform the way it has been doing for patients in complex listening environments. As always, if you have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to contact me. My email is d.shum@oticon.com. I want to thank you for your time.